bin's wieder, Kei Haram, hier mit meinem Let's Play von Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. Und beim letzten Mal haben wir uns so hart dafür eingesetzt, dass Rafer nochmal die Divination Seance probiert, dass es so weit gekommen ist, dass Rafer sich gegen ihre eigene Mutter gestellt hat und gemeint, nein Mama, ich möchte das machen, ich möchte Ihnen sagen, dass ich was kann. Jetzt nicht so, wie ich gerade dargestellt habe, aber halt sehr emotional. Rafer, you're a good girl. Also können wir jetzt uns mal angucken, wie ihr Vater draufgegangen ist. Und das mal abgleichen mit ihrer Deutung. Natürlich auch wieder Widersprüche finden, ne? Das ist ja wohl klar. Auf jeden Fall. Sie meinte, he had been waiting vigilantly, when suddenly he heard Dirk's voice. Spielen wir das noch mehr ab, bis zu einem bestimmten Punkt. Dann geht er zu dem Bild. So. Hier betitelt sie die Stimme als die von Dirk. Hier aber ist es einfach nur die Stimme eines Mannes. Also, ein bisschen genauer bitte, Rafer, ja? Ist das jetzt nun die Stimme von Dirk oder...
Objection!
Your benevolence, there seems to be an inconsistency in your interpretation. An inconsistency? Where? Minister Inga is far too relaxed for what was supposedly about to take place. When he heard the voice you claim is Dirk's, he didn't seem the least bit alarmed. He just kept looking at the picture of the founder. Ah! That's strange, right? He was waiting for Dirk to arrive with the founder's orb, but when he heard that voice, he didn't even turn to look. Don't you think he would have been worried about being attacked from behind? Ah! Then whose voice was it? It was likely someone whose presence wouldn't have alarmed him. Someone like a friend. But there was no third party at the scene of the crime. Therefore, the voice can only have belonged to Dirk. The voice of a third party who wasn't there in the tomb. Apollo, don't we have something that could reveal the owner of the mystery voice? You know, I think we do. Something that Inga had while he was waiting for Dirk. With it, we just might be able to figure out whose voice it was. I believe we can identify the male voice Minister Inga heard with this. Und das wäre das Tatortfoto. Wenn wir uns das nämlich angucken, unter den ganzen Wertsachen, die neben der Leiche verstreut sind, was hat er da alles? Eine Pistole, das Mordmesser und ein Handy. That's my father's. I know this must be hard for you, but could you please look at this photo? There's something here that can point us toward the identity of the voice. This is the real source of the man's voice. Und damit die Antwort, wie er mit jemandem sprechen konnte, obwohl keiner da ist. Er hat schlichtweg telefoniert. Na? Finger auf Doom! Danke. A cell phone? Right. I believe that the voice the minister heard was of a call on the cell phone. I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. What is your eminence's view on the matter? I concede the possibility.
Then it seems I must refine my vision.
Ja, das wäre eine gute Idee. Subordinate's voice.
It appears that the voice belonged to one of my father's subordinates.
Why do you suppose he was talking to one of them then?
My father had members of the secret police positioned throughout the palace. They were supposed to contact him as soon as they saw Dirk and the rest of you.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Your benevolence, I believe you have an insight to revise.
I know, Barbed Head. Don't presume to tell me how to do my duty.
Alles gut, Kleines. My father then took a call from a subordinate at the palace. So the voice was coming from the phone. That's good to know. But there might have been other sounds coming from the phone. Sounds that could be clues. Let's take another look at Rafa's insights and really focus on the various sensations. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang on of this now. Gut so, braver Junge. Gut. Dann... Ach komm, lassen wir das erstmal noch ein bisschen abspielen. Denn das, was jetzt gerade wieder revised wurde, abgeändert, hat jetzt wieder einen kleinen Knackpunkt hinterlassen. Of course. Wusch. So. So, my father then took a call from subordinate at the palace. Spielen wir das noch ein bisschen weiter ab. Aha! Da haben wir doch was. Nämlich, was macht denn bitte schön das Geräusch von dem Brüllen eines Löwen hier? Besser gesagt, was danach kommt. Ich spiele das einfach mal ab. Danach kommt das Bellen eines Hundes. Erst dann wird er erstochen. Das Brüllen eines Löwen und dann das Bellen eines Hundes. Das kommt uns doch irgendwo bekannt vor.
Objection!
I hate to break it to you, benevolence, but you misinterpreted something again.
What do you mean? Again?
Smooth move, Apollo. I think you just hurt her feelings. She may put on a brave face, but she feels more than she lets on. Let me rephrase that, your benevolence. Sorry. Your interpretation of your father's phone call to his subordinates at the palace is inconsistent with his final memory.
What do you mean by that?
A lion's roar could be heard over the phone. Don't you find that strange? You claimed the call was with someone at the palace. But let me ask you, do you keep lions there?
No. The only animals at the palace are little birdies and my pet frog.
Wait, that giant one in front of the minister's house is her pet?
Besides, there aren't any lions in Kurain. We don't even have any zoos. A rather sad state of affairs, I'm afraid.
Well, I remember hearing a sound like that. The lion's roar coming from the phone is actually from something hanging out in... Wir erinnern uns? Ja, wenn es jetzt nicht Klick gemacht hat, dann macht es jetzt bei dieser Antwort Klick. Der Bazaar. Isn't that the cry of the bard over in the bazaar? Your benevolence, do you think you can clarify the voice for me?
Very well. I will now attempt to further refine my vision.
Babat's cry.
What's this?
Just as I suspected, it was the call of a Babat. That means the subordinate minister Inga was talking to. Was in the bazaar, not the palace.
But why is it important where the call came from? What significance could it have?
She's right. Is it important to know where the call was made from? Tatsächlich ist es sehr wichtig, denn es gibt nochmal Aufschluss über eine weitere Sache, die man in der Seance sieht. It's actually very important. Knowing that the person on the other end was at the bazaar means that the loud explosion might not have been the sound of a gunshot.
But I can't think of no other item that makes such a noise in the area.
Go ahead, Apollo. Tell her. Tell Rafa the real source of that sound. Will do.
Well, Hornhat, I'm waiting. What was the true source of that explosive sound?
Das wäre... schauen wir uns doch nochmal Albis Aussage hier an. Nämlich beim Bazaar ist genau so etwas Ähnliches passiert. Der Hund ist dann natürlich, war es dann Shadow gewesen. Und der laute Sound ist dann der Cracker, den Dutz losgelassen hat.
What is that?
It's I'll be your guide's statement. In it, he claims that Dutz a rebel threw a firecracker at him while he was at the bazaar.
Then?
Yes, the sound heard over the phone was a firecracker exploding. And yet, a bullet was found at the scene of the crime. A bullet fired from Minister Inga's gun. How do you explain that? Well, we don't know whether it was fired during the course of the crime, right? Or do you have evidence that proves when the pistol was discharged? No, I have none. Na bitte. Wait a second. If that loud bang was a firecracker, then could that laugh at the end have been... No! It can't be! Doch, es war Dutz. Oh, it can. And it is. The laugh came from none other than... the Joker who got a kick out of startling Albie with his dragon snot snaps. That happy-go-lucky Dutz a rebel. What? Someone should really put a leash on that guy. Ach man, komm, das ist witzig. Der ist cool, der Junge. I shudder to think how one man can be the cause of so much trouble. Ha 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 ha! Hey there, AJ, PW! You can thank me later! No one asked for your commentary, Mr. Rebel. Entschuldigung. Your benevolence, you need to revise your insight.
It would appear so.
Gut. Dann mach das nochmal, Sicher. My father then took a call from a subordinate at the bazaar. The true source of that loud bang was the firecracker Dutz threw. And that final laugh belonged to none other than Dutz himself. Well, this changes everything. Let's go over the details of Rafa's insight again. Okay! I think I've got this down now. Time to find another inconsistency. Gut. Dieses Mal bleiben wir bei der ersten Aussage tatsächlich mal. Und nicht bei dem, was abgeändert wurde. At around 3 p.m. my father was waiting in the tomb to make the hostage exchange. Da-dum. Ja. Dann der Schmerz. Dann sieht man nochmal die gesichtslose Gestalt. So. To make the hostage exchange. Jetzt mit diesem ersten Dings. Was? Auf jeden Fall hier. Explosion. Das stimmt was nicht. Das stimmt doch was nicht.
Objection!
Your benevolence! There's a glaring problem with this insight.
There is?
You stated that the murder happened at around 3 p.m. Which is right around the time my client arrived on the scene. However, now that we know what the source of the loud bang is, your insight conflicts with a certain piece of evidence. I suppose I have to ask the obvious here. What evidence conflicts with the claim that the murder occurred at 3 p.m.? Das wäre dann nochmal die Aussage von Albie. Denn dann wiederum stimmt der Todeszeitpunkt tatsächlich nicht. Denn dann müsste er so ungefähr nicht um 3, sondern rund 2 Uhr gestorben sein. Albie, your guide statement. Again? Yes, because to summarize what he said. At around 2 p.m., Shadow was surprised by a firecracker and ran into the palace courtyard. Around 2 p.m. That's right, 2 p.m. Not 3 p.m. Ah! Are you suggesting? I think you know where I'm going with this. That's love, the cry of the Vabat, and the bang of the firecracker were all heard right before Minister Inga's death. Thanks to Albie's statement, we can put a definitive timestamp on all of these sounds. Therefore, what this vision shows is that it's extremely likely that the C's final moments were at 2 rather than 3, as we had originally thought.
Dare I ask?
It means the murder took place a full hour before Dirk entered the tomb.
Palkunka!
How can this be? Are you saying that I, the very personification of the law, have been mistaken?
Au, diese Fingernägel!
Oh, da kriege ich Gänsehaut, wenn ich das mit den Fingernägeln sehe. Oh, ich kann sowas nicht. Ich kann. Oh, nein. Mach das nie wieder, Frau! Oder schneid dir mal die Fingernägel, geh zur Maniküre oder sowas, aber please! Nie wieder dieser Anblick! Ha! Now you see why justice will always prevail. Peace! Peace, I say! Now then, defense. I must remind you that the figure of the accused was clearly shown in the vision. How do you explain that? I wouldn't say it was clearly shown. After all, the figure didn't actually have a face. Oh, you're absolutely right. Without a face, we can't be certain of who it was. Furthermore, need I remind you that if the vision is from 2 PM, Dirk was still with me and Mr. Wright. Which means this faceless figure couldn't possibly be him. So then, what are we to make of this 1 hour difference?
Wait, 2 o'clock? That's when... my mother was performing the rite of channeling. The palace guards had all been reassigned to guard the channeling chamber for the rite. Don't tell me. The royal residence, it would have been literally unguarded.
Which means the real killer could have easily slipped unseen into Amara's tomb. Defense, are you saying that this is someone disguised as the accused? That's exactly what I believe, Your Majesty. Preposterous. Disguises cannot deceive the memories of the dead. That the face did not appear this time is mere happenstance. Had it appeared, such subterfuge would have been as clear as day. He's got a point there. Anyone who knows about the divination seance would have tried to hide their face. Nevertheless, our killer openly appeared before Inga. The question is, why? Apollo? Maybe the killer could afford to be so bold, because they knew their face wouldn't show up in the seance vision. What? It's possible that the killer dared to dress in Dirk's clothes and stand square in front of Inga. Precisely because they knew they could get away with it. But how could anyone be so sure of something like that? A long time ago, I heard of a cognitive disorder that impairs a person's ability to distinguish between different faces. What if Inga had it? Then, are you saying that this is literally how Inga saw the world? Yes, we can't normally see through the eyes of others, but in this case, we can. And if he had that disorder, I imagine this is how faces appeared to him in life. Okay, let's say that the killer knew that Inga had such a disorder. They could definitely use it to pin the crime on Dirk. But if you're wondering about how to prove that Inga had it, you already have what you need. Really? Well, defense, do you have anything to show to this court? Yes, I believe so. Frankly, I have no idea what Mr. Wright means, but I'll look the evidence over again. What explains why the face of Minister Inga's killer is absent in his seance vision? Nehmen wir mal an, Phoenix hat tatsächlich recht mit dieser Störung tatsächlich. Und by the way, ich hab's tatsächlich nachgeguckt, sobald ich den Begriff, welcher ja gleich auch nochmal genannt wird, habe ich das gleich gegoogelt. Das gibt's tatsächlich. Halt nicht so, wie hier jetzt vielleicht dargestellt ist, aber die Person hat dann tatsächlich Schwierigkeit, Menschen anhand ihres Gesichts zu unterscheiden. Das gibt's also. Finde ich so cool. Also, aber auf jeden Fall. Die Sache, die belegt, dass Inga tatsächlich so eine Störung hatte, wäre dann hier dieses Notepad. Es bezieht die ganzen Sachen über die Leute, wo selbst Nena draufgeschrieben steht. Das sind alles Sachen über irgendwie Klamotten, Haarstyling, Tattoos eventuell. Ja, aber nicht sowas wie Augenfarbe oder sowas. A notepad? Yes, it was found in Minister Inga's room. And it holds the answer we're looking for. As you can see, it's filled with detailed notes on various individuals. Blah. What kind of clothes they wear, hairstyles, and other discerning physical characteristics. And this is connected to the faceless nature of the killer how? The vision we saw was exactly what Minister Inga saw with his own eyes. It is he who saw his killer as a person without a face. In fact, this is how he normally saw everyone around him. What's this? I believe Minister Inga had a disorder that prevented him from recognizing faces. It would explain the faceless being. And why he needed a notepad full of people's physical characteristics.
Now that I think about it, my father was always terrible at remembering people. By simply changing my hairstyle, he would fail to recognize even me.
Your Eminence, you knew that your husband had such a disorder, didn't you? He never wished for it to become public knowledge. But I suppose there's no use in keeping quiet about it now. It is as you say. My late husband had a special disorder that hindered his ability to recognize faces. The medical term for it is prosopagnosia. So Mr. Wright was right!
The memories of those afflicted with such disorders in life do appear strange at times. There's precedence for this.
So the killer likely knew about the disorder and used it to their advantage. Right, so there's someone who is both knowledgeable about the divination seance and aware of Inga's affliction. Your Eminence? Who knew about your husband's condition? A small number of servants who attended to his needs. And me. Surely you are not about to insinuate that I committed this crime. Oh no, Your Eminence! Still, could she have done it? Jahren has an alibi, remember? Oh, right. She was conducting the rite of channeling at 2 p.m. In that case... Your Eminence, does Nena know about Minister Inga's disorder? Of course she does. She's our head servant. So as head servant, she knew about Minister Inga's condition. And as the prince's personal attendant, she is familiar with the divination seance. If these two facts together don't make her a possible suspect, I don't know what would. You witless lawyer. How quick you are to forget the facts. Was meinst du? Bitte dich schlagen. Auch wenn ich jetzt den Part beende. Frau. Naja. Wir belassen es erstmal dabei. Egal, positiv oder negativ, Bewertung immer gern gesehen. Und dann erfahren wir, was sie genau meint. Das war's von meiner Seite. Wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Sehr Geist. Bitte nicht schlagen.